Agents say they believe the man in custody for killing a family of 3 and their housekeeper had help. That an accomplice or accomplices are still on the run this weekend, and prosecutors won't say if they believe the public is in danger. It's been about 10 days since firefighters arrived at a multi-million-dollar mansion consumed in fire, only to find the family inside dead, likely killed before gasoline was poured on their bodies and then set ablaze. Police linked Darren Dylan Wint to the crime scene from DNA on a Domino's pizza crust. Police think while being held hostage the night before, the family ordered the pizza. The morning they were killed, a family assistant dropped off $40,000 in $100 bills. Similar stacks of cash were found with Wint when he was arrested after a massive manhunt. Former D.C. homicide detective, Fox News contributor Ted Williams joins us now. Prosecutors wouldn't answer us yesterday, Ted, when we said, is the public still in danger with these guys out on the lam? Do you think they are?
No, I don't think that the public is in danger. I do not think that this has, for all intent and purposes, was a random killings, these killings. So I don't think
these guys were targeted.
I think they absolutely was targeted. All of the evidence that has been shown so far is that they were targeted in light of the fact that Darren Wint 10 years ago was employed by American Ironworks.
He was a welder for the family company that this guy owned.
Absolutely. The CEO, Savi Sabapoulos, owned American Ironworks.
When you think about this story and you think about how this went down, this sounds like something that happens out of El Salvador or in Mexico or something like that. Not in the United States, not in Washington, D.C. How does a crime like this go down here?
Well, you know, that's the sad part. We watch movies and we see this in the movies, but the reality is you don't normally see this in life. Although under the circumstances here, one of the big questions, Leland, is were there any other individuals involved? That's what they're trying to establish right now.
At least when you say are there any other individuals involved, at least so far according to the police, I read the charging affidavit, they said based on their expertise, they know there was somebody else involved, and it makes sense. How does one person hold 4 people hostage in a house for 18 or some odd hours without any one of those 4 being able to find or get help?
And that is what makes it more questionable. I think in the coming weeks, you're going to find as to whether they're going to be able to identify anybody. But I can tell you, looking at this cell phone, I think it may hold the key to other accomplices. Normally, accomplices will talk to each other and they'll communicate, and it's normally the cell phone. I would have to believe that the authorities are clearly looking at the cell phone.
Do police know a lot more in this case than what they're telling us?
Leland, absolutely a lot more than they're telling us. They have told us what they wanted us to know, what they wanted to put out to the public. But I can unequivocally tell you behind the scenes, this investigation is continuing 24/7.
Did it surprise you how long it took them to get to Wint as a possible suspect?
Not really, Leland, because the perpetrator or perpetrators tried to hide and cover any evidence.
And well, they burned the house, they burned the Porsche they stole, among other things?
Oh, absolutely. And so I think what we've seen here is excellent police work to date in regards to these killings.
What are the missing links in this case, in the sense that you think about the idea of somebody like Wint, who was, by all accounts, a troubled man, ex-con, long criminal history, trying to pull off some kind of hostage situation where you demand cash from the people you're holding, all this. This would seem to take a degree of sophistication that, at least so far what we know about Wint, he doesn't have.
Well, and that's the key. Who was involved? What was the motive? Was the motive just cash? Now, we know that they kill these people. The question
doing
is,
all that over $40,000 in cash seems to not quite make a lot of sense.
And that is the most questionable aspect of this case. But you got to understand that when you talk about the fact that these individuals were killed, it has to have been because they could have been they could identify Wint as being one of the individuals, and perhaps someone else associated with the Sabapoulos family.
Well, possibly somebody else, maybe on the inside of that company, or somebody who knew outside of that company. Ted Williams, we appreciate your insights. Obviously, there's a lot more to come here.
My pleasure.
All right, thanks, Ted.